The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the DADS, not always on wrestling. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the West Coast professor, Jeff Mother effing Meacham. We're not 5 minutes in yet, so I can't say the F word just
almost
yet.
Almost there,
just like Princess Tiana. And
That's right.
really quickly for the Disney dorks out there, as y'all know, our logo is done in Disney font. Have you seen the animatronics for the Bayou Adventure ride?
I saw the voice of Lewis get the first look at Lewis, and I'm as giddy as he is. I'm not going to lie. That was badass looking.
All right. Just had to get that out there real quick because I've seen the footage circulating these last couple of days. But we're not here to talk about Disney today.
No,
we're not here to talk about The Princess and the Frog. We are here to talk about the top 10 women's championship matches in WrestleMania history. As long as there was gold on the line, we're going to be discussing it.
Yes.
WWF Women's Championship, Divas Championship, Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, NXT Women's Championship, WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. 40 years of WrestleMania. What was it? Something like 30 matches to go through?
Altogether, yeah, it was over 30, and I was surprised that there were that many, to be honest with you, because I thought there was a bigger gap than there actually was. It's still a pretty sizable break between championship matches for the ladies, but not as big as I thought it was. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good 8-year gap between WrestleMania 2 and 10. That was the longest gap where there was no championship defended for the women.
Yep.
And then from 11 to 15, so that's another 4-year gap.
Right.
And then from there, they were pretty prominently featured starting at like 17.
Yeah, because 2000, the championship was with Stephanie, so there was that.
And then, once they had Raw and Women's Championships, well, there were 2 matches per show. So that kind of made up for some of the lost years there. And then they brought the tag titles in there.
Yep.
Now you got 3 title matches.
Yes, and if NXT comes on that show,
titles weren't defended last year, they won't be defended this year.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine though. But we got a lot of stuff to dissect and digest. Josh is here.
I see Josh.
Anyone commenting in the chat room. Hope this looks better for his rankings than his last one did.
Well,
we'll have to see. How are the Daddy-O's feeling right now in their second, third stream out of 5-6 today?
Yeah, for real.
I am doing good. I will be full transparent. I thought that my morning review of Paul Heyman was going to be late.
Yeah.
Because I still needed to finish editing it this morning.
Oh, geez.
I had edited most of it last night, but I needed to edit the front part of it where I been putting like available on demand in the trailer.
Sure.
Because by the time I was done last night, I was almost out of battery.
Well,
and then my charger was acting up overnight.
Of course it was.
So I had to bring the phone with me as I took the kids to school, charge it in the car.
Oh, sweet baby.
I was doing my errands this morning.
Ooh, that's rough.
Hey, but you know what? By the time I got home, it wasn't full, but it was at like 60%.
Hey,
enough where I could do what I needed to do.
Exactly.
Video uploaded. I think I had the video uploaded and live to my members at like 10:40 a.m. our time.
There you go.
There was like 20 minutes to spare before I had to go live.
There you go.
But I am doing good.
I'm
a little bit tired. I was going to get there.
Sorry.
Little bit tired because of the 6:30 wake up call.
Oof, yeah.
But I know after this, I've got a little bit of a break until the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I don't have to be on for Supercard of Honor, but if we're going live as soon as we're done with this, then I may hang out for some of the pre-show until the main event starts.
Sure.
If for no reason but to kick it with the boys, I mean,
that's it, man.
Hanging with the homies.
WrestleMania weekend was always the time where we got together as a family, as a group of friends or whatever. But we be working and making that money and shit. So we got to do what we got to do when we can do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, shout out to G, who's at WWE World, if I understand right. Messaging us, commenting on our show. So God bless you for watching it from VAR. And yes, Josh, much like you were last weekend, we are doing the Lord's work this weekend. So we thank you for that acknowledgement. Thank you, sir. It just happens to be the tribal gods, the tribal chief, that particular god, Maui and all them. Josh brought up his rankings. So before we get into the meat and taters of this, I'm going to acknowledge the 3 people that actually bothered to do as I asked and comment on that post I put across social media. Josh did put up a comment. Since Steve was here, we'll go ahead and acknowledge this first. I asked the people, because I posted the graphics of all the championship matches that have been female-centric in the last 40 years. And Jerry's here. He'd love to see that. And Josh was the first to comment across any platform. And his choices surprised me. I'm not going to lie, because he has 2 matches that feature Charlotte. Charlotte versus Rhea was his top choice, followed by Sasha and Bianca from WrestleMania 37. And then the triple threat that really ended the Divas era and kicked off the return of the Women's Championship and the real true evolution of the Revolution. So that was pretty cool to see that. Our buddy Walter, who was on with you yesterday, talking about matches that should have main evented their respective WrestleManias, chose Bianca versus Sasha for the history and what it meant. And then our buddy Noah Foster, ever the women's wrestling enthusiast, went a little crazy, but I love to see it. The match from WrestleMania 19, the triple threat, the WrestleMania 22 Mickey Trish match, the aforementioned WrestleMania 32 match, both women's championship matches from WrestleMania 35, which is still going on now. God bless you people in Jersey.
That can't be still going on right now. It can't be, because The Rock is still fucking in Florida inducting his father and grandfather in the Hall of Fame. So we haven't even gotten to 35 yet.
I know he's still doing the speech. I'm still sitting there in my seat in the Amway Arena. I am permanently embedded in that arena now, even though they bulldozed the son bitch years ago. I am forever trapped. It's a trap. It's in Orlando. Might as well be a trap, right? Star Wars. Anyway. And the Bianca Sasha match, aforementioned the Becky Bianca match from WrestleMania 38, and last year's Night 1 women's championship match. So a lot of good variety of choices from our 3 commenters, and we thank our 3 commenters because nobody else bothered.
That's right. That's right.
But anyway,
well, I'm sure Pop would have done it, but he probably didn't see it on social media.
He didn't see it, and to be fair, I don't fault Jerry for not, scrutinizing everything, because he's admitted a non-scrutinizer when it comes to the wrestling. However, the rest of you, I find fun. Now, full disclosure statement, if you will. This was a bitch. The list. It flat out was a bitch. We were pretty much on pace with each other for the majority of the list, if we're being honest. It was a matter of,
I'd say about 2/3 to 3/4. We were like there.
Yeah. It was one of those, everything kind of fleshed out. And then we got to, well, this one should be because, and it just became a pissing contest for a while. And anybody that's followed me in my 22 years of doing this knows that I'm still very passionate about few things, right? But one of them is women's wrestling and the quality of women's wrestling that has evolved. Wow. A lot of people are picking somebody that not a lot of people like. I'm just throwing that out there. People hate on Charlotte, but recognize great. And we will probably get to her later. Josh, I'm probably going to confess. I'm going to confess Bianca Becky was a tad overrated. Maybe. Anyway, it came down to, there was an argument about the ranking at all of the WrestleMania 10 match between Alundra and Leilani Kai, and the WrestleMania 15 match between Sable and not Wilson Tori. With all due respect to Terry Power, that's how we
Tori.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hate saying the other because it's like, it makes her feel like, so I just say not Wilson Tori. That way people understand. For those of you uneducated folks at home.
Yeah. I've always just referred to as DX Tori.
DX Tori works. Much to Kane's chagrin.
Yeah.
Christmas was not kind to Kane that year. Anyway, or most days were not kind to Kane any year. And thank you to everybody watching across the platform. Appreciate you there.
But yeah, we heavily contested and went back and forth about those 2 matches because me and Jeff basically agreed on 9 out of 10.
Yes.
We came up with those, and it was like, so what should be the 10th match?
Right.
And we kind of looked and we had something pretty much representing every era of women's championships.
Yep.
The only thing we didn't have was the return of the title, WrestleMania 10.
Mm-hmm.
First time it had been defended in 8 years. And Sable versus Tori, arguably the kickoff of the Divas division.
Yes.
In the WWF, even though it was still the women's championship at the time.
Right.
So I really kind of fought back and forth about either one of those matches, put it at number 10, because those matches are what they are. But I felt like they needed acknowledgement, and Jeff all but fought me tooth and nail. Like, I think if he could have teleported from Santa Clarita to freaking Apple Valley to throw hands at me in the moment, he would have. That's how adamant he was that those matches did not deserve a ranking spot on our list.
And let me be clear, no disrespect to Rena Mero, to Terry, I don't know what her real last name is, but Terry Power, for lack of a better term. Terry Posh, I believe, at Polk, I already say that. Forgive me, Terry. To Leilani Kai, and especially not the Deuce. I ain't messing with Deuce. She'll kick my ass. And Deuce knows I know I'm scared of her. But it's one of those, as historically significant as they both were, for the reasons you gave, I argued heavily on match quality. And the other matches that we had not officially ranked, but were definitely debating, I just felt that one of those should get the number 10 spot, which is why it is number 10 spot.
Yeah, so that's what we did. It was like, okay, well, we agreed on these 9. We weren't able to agree on what number 10 was. So I basically told Jeff, I was like, surprise me. Yeah. But whatever match you pick has to be number 10. I don't care how great it is.
Right.
It has to be number 10.
Yep.
Because neither one of us were able to discuss and agree on, oh my God, this match has to be on our list.
Right.
So whatever match he came up with in this spot right now, number 10, yes. I have no idea what it is.
Right.
And we could be talking freaking Angle Michaels WrestleMania 21, one of the greatest matches of all time. But it's still number 10 because neither one of us were able to pick it out when we were doing our discussion and everything. So don't shoot us for it being this way.
Yes.
That's the reason why it is where it is. Go ahead, Jeff.
It is a matter of circumstance and necessity. So number 10 is on here for both historical purpose and for match quality. It is the first match on here, the only match on here from WrestleMania 34, the second trip to New Orleans. And that match is Charlotte versus Asuka. Charlotte defending the SmackDown.
You were going to put another freaking Charlotte match on the list.
Okay, hang on now. I am. Dude, you get the name wrong. I'm gonna smack you, Josh. Anyway, here is the thing. Number 1, I disagree with the outcome completely.
As do I.
And I know a lot of folks out there do, because Charlotte won again. But it is significant. And unfortunately, significant of it is it's a negative one. But the match kicked ass. Both these girls gave everything they had. In the context of the story, Charlotte won bridging off one arm with that figure 8. No business being able to do that with the way her legs were worked on during the course of this match. Great match, great story going in. My only real bitch with it, even though Charlotte won, is that it ended Asuka's undefeated streak. And ever since then, Asuka A has never won at WrestleMania. Yet, there's still hope tomorrow or Sunday, whatever it's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So there's still hope, but she's facing Jada at her debut. So we talked about this yesterday, adamantly. I also just think that, it's the outcome was not correct, but the match quality and historical significance, good and bad, are why it's at number 10. And like I said, it's number 10 because we couldn't definitively decide on the number 10 one. So that's why it's here again. And to answer the question that I saw pop up.
Yeah, I was going to address it once you got done with your thought.
Yes.
No, Jeff, or excuse me, no, Josh. Botch. Any women's championship match. I believe we said that at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Women's title, Divas title, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, tag team. If it is a championship belt and it is held by a woman, it is able to be on this list. So thank you for paying attention. Go stand in the corner for 2 minutes.
Now, if we were talking about across all companies and knockout championships, yes, EY would be in contention.
That's right.
So there you go.
Because him and ODB, man, knockouts tag champs.
That's right. Shout out to Showtime. I love me some Eric Young, dude. Him and Frankie are going to tear shit up. I'm loving it. Anyway, number nine.
Number 9 is where it is because it's the last one that we agreed on. I mean, like, if we had been able to agree upon and discuss and come to terms on Charlotte Asuka, then this match at number 9 probably would have been number 10.
Yeah.
But it only got up to number 9 as far as quality and everything goes because it was the lowest ranked match that me and Jeff could agree on.
Yes.
And it's the inaugural WrestleMania.
Yep.
Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper versus Leilani Kai with the fabulous Moolah from the inaugural WrestleMania.
Yes. And again, it's not the greatest match in championship history, but the historical significance cannot be understated.
Yeah.
It's the semi-main of the first Mania, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
And that's the tweet.
That's the tweet. It was the semi-main event to Hogan, T, Piper, Orndorff.
Yeah. With all that talk,
it was high valued enough that it was there. And a lot of people will be like, but it was the cool down match. It's the bathroom break before. No, it wasn't.
No, not that year, buddy.
Nope.
No. Weren't no such thing at that first Mania.
To settle the score, the brawl to end it all. Both of those shows via MTV that kind of helped kickstart the Rock and Wrestling Connection were very heavily contingent on Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper.
I will take it a step further and say, without Wendy and Cyndi getting sideways with Cat and Lou, and then with Leilani and Moolah, Hogan wouldn't have stepped in to defend Cyndi. Piper wouldn't have stepped in to be that guy. There would have been no Hogan, Piper, and antagonistic situation. These 4 women are the reason this week exists.
Yep.
And fight me to the death, because I will win. Because it's women's wrestling, and I will stab people through the heart.
As far as match quality, the match was what it was.
Yeah.
But you cannot take away the historical significance.
Nope.
And the fact that, to Jeff's point, WrestleMania itself may not even exist without Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter.
Nope.
And it's good to see that the simple man is resting his spectacular voice.
Yes.
But shouting from the rafters in the comments section.
That's it. Shout it loud, brother. We love you, Noah. We'll see you at 4.
You know what? As soon as we come on the air with the Ring of Honor thing, I want to know Noah's thoughts about this list.
Absolutely.
Since we'll probably have a little bit extra kickoff time, I want to hear his take on this. So
I agree.
hope you're taking notes, bruv.
Yes. Rough count one. You know. If you miss out, watch
At
alongside.
least I haven't gotten started on the bro yet, bro. Don't make me go full bro. Josh will turn this off in a hurry, bro, if I start going full bro.
Well, we'll be okay because Josh has actually done his homework and been pretty good about his comments so far, bro. So we'll see.
That's fair. And Pop says it's okay, Josh. Pop is here for you. I love the fact that my dad gets involved. Go ahead, sir. Number 8.
Father stepping in to protect the little ones. You love to see that shit. Now, speaking of Josh, this is the match that Josh was fearful his computer would be set off by the mentioning of the names. At number 8. Jesus Christ. No.
I think their brains would combust.
I do not want Matt Riddle on a Vince Russo podcast. We will all die of spontaneous probustion. Absolutely not. No.
That needs to be a shirt.
Spontaneous probustion. There you go.
Have their faces on each end and just have it probustion.
Greg Cherry, get on that shit. Anyway. Buy the shirt. It doesn't exist, but buy it anyway, by God. Pre-order that shit right now. It's not even a link. Just go on there and spend money. It's PayPal me, whatever. I don't give a damn. At number 8 is from WrestleMania Kickoff 33. How is this match on the kickoff, for fuck's sake? Mickie James, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Naomi, and Carmella all challenging Little Miss Bliss. I'll save your device the trouble there, Josh. A 6-pack women's challenge. And it's on the kickoff. Since
this was a kickoff, was this a good morning for Miss Bliss?
Ha! Very good.
And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, do your homework, bro.
Do they have those Saved by the Bell edited versions on Peacock with the rest of the series?
Don't know.
They should.
We'll have to find out.
Junior high years kind of were what they were, but you still had, Zach and Screech and Lisa and Haley Mills and Dennis Haskins, crying out loud.
I was going to say,
Damn it. By the way, somewhere in the ether, there is a shot of Haley Mills with all 3 of the twins, one of which played Tori. That shit just blew my mind. I was like, what? It was Parent Trap sequel, if I remember right. So that was one of those meta moments like, whoa, if they only knew. Anyway, yes. WrestleMania kickoff. Naomi wins this match, wins the title in her hometown. But we're gonna have them on the kickoff. And again, this ranking is one of those. This is the quote unquote least of the best, because from here on it's all gangbusters, baby. But these 6 women with what they were given, which was basically a play the chicken ship, being relegated to the kickoff at the end of the day. And they still went out there and tore it up like they were semi-main. And they were all sound. Naomi had the beautiful moment in front of her crowd. And you know what? I believe he's right. They did move that show to the main card, if I remember right now that I see that comment. So I think it was a switch out there.
Did they pivot, bro?
They did, bro. And you know what? Kudos to Dwayne for the honesty, by the way. That was cool. He's like, all right, look, this was the plan. We decided no. Because reasons. Good on The Rock for the honesty and the transparency. That was cool shit. But yeah, our number 8
is doing such a good job of being a heel, hasn't he?
Right. I like the balance though, because he's still being Dwayne Johnson outside of the main context of the storyline. When he gets in there, man, he's bludgeoning people. He's calling out the Rhodes family, which, dude, Roman saying to Cody that Death was relevant, I was out of my seat during that press conference. I was like, oh, no, he did not. So, like, don't mess with Dusty in front of me. Like, everybody knows that at this point. So, and don't mess with Shelly either, man. Mama Rhodes, I'll fight Dwayne over Mama Rhodes. I will get killed. I will be DED dead, but, I'll still fight him. Anyway, so yeah. The Bloodline wins here again. Much like they always do, the Bloodline wins, regains a championship at WrestleMania. Naomi becoming the SmackDown Women's Champion here. That's a number 8.
So I'm going to make a request here
Yes, sir.
because I forgot the order of some of these matches that I'm seeing here right now.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and do 7,
Mhm.
and then I'll do 6, and then 5, and we'll get back on the odd even that we were on.
Sounds good to me.
This next match happened during my hiatus, so I can't really speak too much about it.
Fair.
But the one we have at number 6, I can speak ad nauseum about.
Oh, yes, you can. That's fine. All right. So Lucky 7 was very lucky for two people that Noah is very fond of.
Yes.
And very unlucky if you were a fan of a boss because she was gone for 2 months after this.
That's right, because she had to take her ball and go home.
That's right. At number 7, the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Title match that Noah mentioned in his group of matches. Tamina and Nia, the Iconics, Peyton and Billy, and the Dream Team. My goodness, Natty and Beth all challenging the then Boston Hug connection of Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania 35. The match that those people are still waiting for that train to go home for. My goodness, those poor people on that platform. It's like they're probably wishing it was the Hogwarts Express at that point. You know, catch that train to go home. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. As far as the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, he is not wrong. I will argue for Sasha and Bayley because they held it more than once, and they were, had they been allowed to be more effective in either reign, it would have been better off. And yes, 100% the fault of the man in charge of the booking, who, you know, was busy doing other things with women that couldn't be mentioned on TV either. Much like a tag titles.
I was going to say the man who we can't talk about even more than we can't talk about Benoit.
No, that's, dude, that phrase, think about that. Vince is Benoit status in his own company.
Worse than.
Worse than. Whew, man. Crazy times we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Vince McMahon has out Benoit in his own company.
Yes, sir.
Within the company, within life and humanity. But, you know, anyway, we're getting way off track. I don't need to go down this hole anymore. But this women's tag title match was the first time the women's tag titles had been defended at WrestleMania. There was the previous 80s version of the women's tag titles that the Glamour Girls and the Jumping Bomb Angels contested for at the Royal Rumble, I believe it was in 88, maybe 89. But this was the first time that WWE relaunched, rebranded, whatever you want to call them, tag team championships were contested on WrestleMania. And it was really cool to see, at least in theory, what we thought was going to be them getting behind these titles obviously proved to not be true, at least for a long while. And even now, the champions are on the card tomorrow, but they're not defending the titles. But I think it's valid reason in this case because they've got such a great match underneath them, with teaming with Dakota against the what'd you call them yesterday? Black Excellence. Thank you. Naomi, Bianca, and the debuting Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. So pretty cool. Great match. Right winners for my money. The icon again, Billy and Peyton, Jessica and Cassie, just sweethearts people. Cassie a Dodger fan, so you ain't get me to argue with that on her ever, man. Her and her mom are both Dodger fans, so good on them.
And isn't one of them married to the Perfect 10, Sean Spears?
Yes, and I would be very surprised
if Spears having come back to the company here recently, could we see an iconic reunion?
I think if both of them weren't already doing the mama thing, and I'm pretty sure one of them's pregnant now. I don't remember which one. So if it is Cass, probably not tomorrow. But
well, no. I'm not saying tomorrow, but I'm saying, you know, now that he's back.
Yeah.
Once the baby is had and everything,
yes.
Who's to say we can't see a Rumble return come next year?
I would love to see both of them come back to the company. I just don't know if the wrestling itself is in either of their blood anymore. I don't know. I haven't talked to them in a long time, so I don't know. I'd love to see it personally. I know Noah would pop for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's only low as it is because of the historical aftermath, I think, for us, because it was like great result, but Like,
it's bad.
yeah, but
It's bad because less people talk about the Iconics winning,
yes,
and more people talk about Sasha Banks being
Bounce on
Sasha
that,
Banks.
yeah, and that's unfortunate because these 8 women really worked hard.
Yes.
So,
All right. So
all right, here we go.
number 6. This was supposed to be one that Jeff announced, but
Yes,
it's one that I really had to push for this spot because Jeff wanted to put this one lower, and I really had to fight and claw for this
he
because
did.
this match comes from what I have called for years the last great WrestleMania from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I still hold that feeling because I still need to see some of the manias from the eras that I missed.
Right.
Me and Noah still have to go through, do all those calls.
Yes.
When life happened, we had to put the brakes on that. So it is what it is. But
just
until I see those, I still consider this top to bottom the last great WrestleMania, and that's WrestleMania 20. There wasn't even going to be a women's title match on the line until one of the participants went to the creative team and offered up the stipulation. And of course, that is Victoria versus Molly. And if Molly loses, she gets her head shaved.
Yeah, and again, no disrespect to Lisa or to Nora at all. I love both these women to absolute pieces. Always have. I felt like because there was no match until like a last minute stipulation, whatever you want to call it, that's why I argued that it should be lower. But you made a valid case, so have at it, brother.
There you go. I got Noah's approval. That's all that matters.
Did that rain outside?
And then of course he had to, come back to it,
Yes.
Look forward to it. Always priorities over passions. And what a way to get there to this though. Yeah, absolutely. It's like the only place, and this is just personal preference, but the only place where I feel like they missed with this match is when Victoria drug Molly up to the barber's chair. It should have been fucking Ed Leslie there to do the haircut. It should have been Brutus the Barber Beefcake. It would have made it sticky. It would have made it corny, but it's WrestleMania, the 20th anniversary at the Garden. The last time WrestleMania would be at the Garden.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
And to have Brutus the Barber Beefcake be up there, full gimmick, his blades, his hedge clippers, and then sit it down and start taking the cutters to her would have been freaking epic.
I only truthfully believe he wasn't there for 2 reasons. Number 1, Hogan wasn't there to fight for him being there. So right away, that's enough. Fair. But number 2, it wasn't too long after his little anthrax cocaine scare at the train station, was it? So
I didn't pay attention to that stuff.
They're probably going, maybe not yet, Ed. We'll see in a few years when you get your shit together. Never really did. If you watch Dark Side, he never really did. It was again, Mania 20 is justifiably held in high regard. I dare say if any Mania is going to come close to bumping that, it's going to be the next 2 days, brother. This card, both nights, looks jacked. So
I know.
We shall see how it plays out.
And it's hard for me to compare a 2-day Mania to a 1-day Mania because
sure.
You've got to go by days. Like, does day 1 compete with this? Does day 2 compete with this? Because otherwise it's not fair to put 8 hours of television, 14 matches, the iconic Bloodline storyline up against 9 matches.
Well, think of it this way. We've got 13 over 2 days. WrestleMania 5 had like 13 or 14 matches itself in 1 day. Same with 4. There's the tournament. So it can be a fair comparison. It's just a matter of how you look at it, how you justify fairness or comparisons. So, and yeah, again,
but to Cape Rayer's point, unfortunately, Victoria versus Trish wasn't a WrestleMania match.
yeah, we got it in a triple threat.
So we can't count that.
No, they were involved in that triple threat that was mentioned in Josh's comments. So
I know, but
or not Josh's. No, sorry, no, my bad. Yeah, and it's raining hard. That sucks. Sorry, I'm hearing the rain going. Man, okay, Mother Nature, take your bipolar meds. Jesus, make up your mind, lady.
All right, so getting back on track to the odds. Number 5. Yes. Number 5 was the culmination of 8 months of story.
And I saw the start of.
Yeah, you saw it live. I saw it via television.
Ooh,
but
that's palpable.
But yeah, I mean, the way it started, I've seen interviews and read transcript of interviews where the person who lost at the start of this feud was literally in tears backstage.
Yep.
And the person who beat her came up to her, dried her eyes, and said, "Don't do this. You're going to get it back in a big way."
Yep.
And to her credit, as much crap as we give her recently for nearing Charlotte levels,
yeah,
she kept true to her word.
Yep.
Big time Bex versus Bianca, WrestleMania 38.
Yeah. Jay, you and I have been a part of some epic pops over the years in our wrestling fandom. And the stadium in Vegas is mighty big. Been inside it a couple times now. Shout out to Legion Stadium and our buddy Lex. Especially with her recent loss, man. I can't even fathom that shit, Lex. So we love you, for real. Especially this weekend, because WrestleMania was always a big weekend for her pop. So particularly 30. But that place damn near caved in when Becky walked out there to be the surprise challenge. And man, as Noah says, it was a palpable moment and a very palpable feud between then and this WrestleMania match. Just personal and visceral. And it really got Becky to that place that arguably we really wanted to see her go when she turned on Charlotte a couple years prior. And get that really just disgusting, do anything to win heel out of her. Beautiful. Beautiful television for me.
Apparently, Cape Rayer's been listening to me the past couple of years.
I'm going to say, unfortunately, you're both right, because now she'll never turn, which is frustrating as hell, because it'd be great if she and Tez just went, you know what? Enough of this bullshit. But they're not going to now.
No.
I don't see it anyway.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
No. But it's feuds like this and stuff she's been dealing with lately that give her every justification to pull that trigger, man.
Yeah. But I mean, just seeing her get that moment again.
So good.
I have not been quiet about my love and adoration for Bianca since I became a fan again.
Absolutely. Nor should you be.
And I did pop when Becky made her return. I booed as soon as she beat her.
Yep.
Because the way it went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to hear that story about Bianca being backstage in tears.
Yep.
And Becky consoling her.
Yep.
Just like, okay. I'm good with this. I'm good with the way everything went down.
Yep.
Because and like I said, Becky was true to her word. And Becky, like I said in the intro, Becky is starting to get to that Charlotte level where people are just tired of her.
Yeah.
In the matches. Like, I am no Liv Morgan fan either, but I think that there was more story in Liv versus Rhea at Mania
Yeah.
than to give the match to Big Time Backs.
Yeah.
To the man. And
I
granted, the marketing here, the man versus mommy.
It works. Yeah.
Good marketing there, but
Yeah.
there was more story with Liv and Rhea.
Yeah. I said last night on Musings, Becky's become her again in the title matches. And that's not what we want.
Has to have that role since Charlotte's out for 9 months.
Yeah. I am hoping that with the right people in charge of booking now, hopefully, I know Hunter's still really high on Charlotte because, Flair, but I think he's more high on Ashley than he is high on the Flair last name. I think he's very much unlike Vince in that respect. But hopefully this time off will give everybody a chance to miss Charlotte and give booking a chance to do it right. And yeah, Liv versus Rhea would have been a great story to wrap up. Talk about finishing stories. God, Liv and Rhea was a great team, and then it wasn't because of Rhea. So it had some sizzle behind that steak. So all right. So here's where we get people sideways, because the next two are going to feature people that they're not going to like hearing about, especially right now. End of the day. Number 4 is the night 1 semi-main from last year. Number 4 is the women's main event of night 1 from last year. Number 4 is one of the best women's matches, championship or not, in WrestleMania history. Die on that hill with a stick of holly in my heart. Charlotte and Rhea. And I low-key mad at Travis still for being late. Not his fault. Traffic and nature are some bitch. But having been a chance to go back and watch the entrances and then the match now back, the only thing that could follow these two was that tag title main event. Because damn, these two tore it up. These two were just so in sync with each other, on point with everything. You guys got to call it in my app, and I was there live for it. Just everything about this match said this is a WrestleMania match. This is a WrestleMania championship match. And like I said, and I will hold to this until somebody definitively proves me otherwise, the only possible match on night 1 that could have even remotely followed this was the one that did, because of the emotion behind Sami and Kevin finishing that particular part of their story and beating the Usos and sending everybody into a, oh shit, what about tomorrow now moment in their head. Any other match follows Charlotte Rhea, they're dead. They're dead on arrival. No chance. WrestleMania finishes flat as a pancake, because these two just went back there and went, follow that. Yes, sir.
I will argue that there was one other match that could have followed it.
From night 1?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say you'd have to go to night 2, and it would have to be Roman Cody.
Well, right. But that's what I'm saying.
But as far as night 1, yeah, you're absolutely right.
And yeah,
and on the night they had it on.
Yeah,
it's one of the matches that me and Walter said should have been the main event.
Yep.
Over the tag title match.
Yeah.
And I love Sami. I love Kevin.
I know you do.
Talked about it yesterday on the show. And their history in the LA area.
Yeah.
History with us, with them and seeing them. But think about the marketing of being able to advertise WrestleMania featuring a Flair and a Rhodes in the main event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I absolutely believed in the marketing. I believed in it. I wanted it. And when I didn't get it at first, and you can ask Travis about this because we were walking during the match, and man, that means that, But you come to me 45 minutes later, and I'm a puddle of tears at my feet over our boys, and I'm like, I'm good. Argument negated. But for the purposes of stakes, the Royal Rumble winners should main event.
Yep.
You said that for years.
Yep. And I stand by that.
Depending on the story.
Now that there are two Rumbles and two nights of Mania.
Yep. The only issue I will ever take with that, and will forever take with that, is creative has to build a proper story for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they win the Rumble, it's like, okay, so like if there's no real oomph behind the story, then it's just, okay, well, default. It feels like default if they just do it that way. Give me a story. Charlotte Rio was a great story. It ended up being. It just wasn't the Bloodline versus everybody story. That's the only reason I feel they did not get that spot.
I'm gonna say no to Cape Rayer, just because that's gonna make Brandy the heel in the match. Because from what I know about her time in AEW, she had go away heat, not heat.
Yeah,
she had X-Pac heat.
Yeah. And to Noah's point about telling a story, 2 months plus of story time shouldn't be difficult to put it together.
No.
Yep. And again, Bayley isn't main eventing either, but unfortunately, Damage Control and their storyline have needed Damage Control for more than half of it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So
Damage Control has been damaged goods for a long time. Noah and I have been saying it for what they debuted at SummerSlam 2022. We've probably been saying it since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If not before that.
Yeah. Like they couldn't make it a full year without already seeming like jump the shark, or however you want to phrase it. So that that should main event either night. This stuff with the Bloodline and the Rocket is just too strong. Too strong. However, number 3 was historical for that reason.
Number 3. And everyone's going to be like, oh, well, JJ's talking about this one.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah.
Number 3 is the WrestleMania 35 main event. Winner takes all.
Yep.
The man versus the rowdy one versus that other person.
Oh, stop it. Give her the booking. The queen.
Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. I will not call her the queen. The queen is Natalya, the queen of hearts. I'll even give Shayna Baszler the queen of spades. Charlotte Flair is only royalty because of who her daddy is.
Dude, I will gladly give Shayna Baszler any title she wants after yesterday. She left Masha Slamovich in pieces. I'm good. Masha fucked around and found out yesterday with Shayna Baszler. I'm good. Messing with her. And I'll never mess with Daddy. Daddy's our girl. I love Daddy. He's good people.
But I mean, again,
yes.
For as much as you had to have Leilani versus Wendy because of the history.
Yep.
Semi-main event, inaugural WrestleMania. WrestleMania wouldn't exist without those two women.
Yep.
Main event, first time ever. 35 years in the making. Both belts on the line.
Yep.
Mainstream superstar appeal because of Ronda Rousey. They deserved it.
Yep.
They deserved it. I mean, I will say this is a match that was on me and Walter's list yesterday. That maybe it shouldn't have been the main event.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe we said that Edge versus Orton, last man standing, should have been, considering all the history. Plus, it was the longest match over both nights.
Wrong show. Now 36.
Okay, then it was a different match.
35, 2019 Mania. God, what was that show? Isn't that bad?
It doesn't
I know.
matter right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter right now, but yeah. I feel like it got the main event because they put Charlotte in. And it's like, if that's the reason we're giving the main event spot, then that's the story was definitely Becky and Ronda going back to Survivor Series. And the reason Charlotte, the reason Ronda got sour on the business because of what happened with Becky and Nia and Charlotte having to sub in. And we'll never get that one-on-one with Becky and Ronda now, especially after this book of Raw just came out. That shit ain't happening now. No way.
That book is on its way to me, by the way.
Oh, I had no doubt of it.
Should be here by Monday.
Dude.
Yes, thank you, Noah. Thank you.
You
don't have to shout it so much, bruv.
If there was to be a sub-topic on either night this weekend, open mic night, post, whatever you want to call it, it would be the quotes from Ronda's book, because, man, are those making around this weekend.
That's what it was. Kofi Bryan is the one we said should have been the main event over it.
Oh, God, yeah. Kofi Mania was great. It was one of the few moments I could tell Dylan's mom, nope, he's watching this. Sorry. This is his boy winning the world title. Absolutely not. Round me. Go ahead, Mom. Go ahead. Yeah. I don't care.
That's the match we said should have been main event over the women in this one, because you think about history and how all the moments were made in that main event.
Yep.
And this was my argument on the show. You think about Bret Hart being hoisted on all the baby faces' shoulders. And granted, that was the year after losing the title to Yoko and then the Hogan scandal.
Oh, God.
It's like, it wasn't even Bret's first title win.
No.
But still, you think about the boyhood dream coming true for Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
You think about the Austin era beginning. You think about Eddie and Benoit embracing post the triple threat match in the Garden. You think about the Yes movement at 30. And the man who led the Yes movement couldn't get the main event to start Kofi Mania.
Right.
And instead the women got it. Ooh.
Yeah.
That was the one. I appreciate that, Safet. That was the one we said should have been over this one. And again, I'm not saying that any of those three are not main event worthy.
No.
I'm not saying that women don't deserve to be the WrestleMania main events. But I feel like that was a bad call.
It was just the wrong year, unfortunately. And truthfully, had it remained one-on-one, I would argue more for it. Had the finish not been so loosey-goosey, I wouldn't fight near as hard for Kofi Mania to be the main event. But that match and that finish will forever be a what if in the annals of wrestling history. And it will be forever now, because I know we say never, but it's going to be very difficult coming back from that book. So, all right. We are down to the final two. And I have been long fighting that this is still up there in the top 5 of women's championship matches, period, let alone WrestleMania. And I didn't get a disagreement from my tag team partner here, but there is one better, and we'll get to that momentarily. But number 2 was a standard resetter, for lack of a better term, because it was the champion that was crowned as the Divas era really started to evolve. Even though the Divas Championship wasn't a thing at this point, it was still 2 years away. You could even tell the division was still evolving away from just being about body parts and look and physical appearance, because this champion herself had evolved away from just being that, right? Whereas the challenger, just the right character, the right story and the right time. And unfortunately for the champion, the right city for the challenger to gain the title. Mickie James, Trish Stratus, WrestleMania 22, not 32 in the chat room, 22. Big time. Before it was Big Time Bex, it was WrestleMania Big Time. And man, it took Natty and Charlotte at TakeOver. And then subsequently, of course, Bayley and Sasha at Brooklyn to supersede this match. And that was 8 years that this was, for me, the best women's championship match in WWE history. There have been many since then that have either equaled or superseded it by a lot. The match quality has improved leaps and bounds since the end of the Divas era. No doubt about it. But this match was, for me, other than the touchy-feely moment near the end, which is edited out of every broadcast you see now. If you have it on DVD, good on you, but that's the only time you're going to see that. I think it is off the DVD, I think. So unless you have the live recording DVR, then you're not seeing the touchy-feely finish. But great contest, great psychology, great story, great wrestling. And JR, Lithium, great stuff. Just fun show, fun night. Chicago's a batshit crazy. We see it every time they go into Chicago. Those people are insane in that building, especially. So great environment and a great women's championship match, but it's not quite number one anymore.
Nope. And if the greatest women's championship match at WrestleMania isn't Trish versus Mickie, isn't the triple threat main event for the first time ever, if it isn't Charlotte versus Rhea, then who could it be? Who? Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. The great ESTS Women's Championship match in Res EST Omania history was the EST finally ascending to the top of her throne.
Yep. All three commenters, Jay, had this match in their groupings. Pretty sure it's the only one that had all three mentioned it. Matter of fact, I know it is, because Walter only had one that he listed. So. Hard to argue with you got to give the people what they say. It's not what they want in this case, because they do want this match. It's a great match. Yeah. And
got to give the people what they want. I just don't think what the people wanted is for Chuck Taylor to stand there as Trent Beretta turned heel the other night.
Right.
But that's another story.
God damn it, Chuck, let your balls drop and do something for a change. Anyway.
And in front of Sue, no less.
Right? That's his mama. What's the matter with you?
Anyways.
Mom watching you do bad.
Company. We're not.
That's okay. That's okay.
Although we are talking about a woman that's now in that company. We're not talking about that company right now. A woman who's in that company hasn't wrestled a single match, but is apparently the number one contender to the winner for Dynasty.
Yeah, is she?
The rankings matter, but that's okay.
Yeah, is she decision not going to wrestle until she gets her title match? Is that what's happening? Like, that's stupid. Tony, 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 can you hear me? Listen to the Bischoff podcast quickly. Anyway,
I don't need to say anything. You nailed my top 5, although I think I would have swapped 4 and 3 in my opinion.
I can see the argument with that. Because the way we talked about 4 versus 3. I know. No, again, wise choices. Currently on adfreeshows.com. I will plug that because, God damn it, Tony earns every bit of the bullshit he gets. I don't care anymore. I'm done being nice.
No. But yeah, the match was simply phenomenal.
Oh, God, it was. Oh,
the moment was just a whole other level. I mean, I jokingly called the team of Naomi, Jade, and Bianca Black Excellence, but this was the main event of a WrestleMania night.
Yep.
And it was two African American women
Yep.
going out there and handling business.
Yep.
And I'm a loss for words beyond that. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
like,
Main eventing like the greatest bosses they were.
yeah.
And again, a Rumble winner. To your point earlier, every bit of this was booked the way it should have been. Every single piece of it.
And honestly, and I may catch some shit here for this, I don't think Roman, Bryan, and Edge lived up to top this.
No.
As the main event of night 2.
They did not.
This was the superior main event that weekend.
Yep.
At ROWJJ Williams, if you want to fight me.
Yeah.
Verbally, of course, but.
Yeah. But again, no disrespect to Joe or Adam or Brian. Roman's story was nowhere near the bottom of the first inning yet at that point.
That's fair.
He wasn't going to lose. He wasn't going to lose. There's no way. Having him stack him and smash him and stack him, that was a little much for me, if I'm going to be honest. It was like, okay, like, we get it. You're a badass, but let's not get carried away here. To the credit of writing and the three people involved, he did beat them both separately later. So
understood. But yeah,
in the moment,
I think this match was superior to the match that ended the entire weekend.
Yep. And I dare say the card from night 1 did the same thing that year. So again, that's what makes stuff like what we do and what we're going to do tomorrow and Sunday so great.
Yeah.
Because it's all subjective, man. Every bit of it is subjective.
Yeah.
But like you said in the comments during Simply Predicting, like you have said countless times over these mega card weekends, you can find something, even a match, hell, I'll even give you a moment thing. If you can't find one moment between last Saturday and the end of Monday night that you like, if you can't find one moment out of those last 9-10 days, please send in your fandom card and go watch the debates over the presidency. I'm good. Thanks. Bye. Oh, Lordy Almighty. And yes, I agree with that last comment, man. The hair whip went to a next level in that match, man. She whipped the shit out of her. It was like, oh, it was brutal.
I was having Roots flashbacks, and if nobody has seen that,
then
you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But if you have seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Scenes like that are why Jordy the Fourth went to space, where it was safe, and started reading, educating himself better about getting hit like that again. Taught himself to read. Take a look. It's in a book, dog. Get out of that spot. Woo.
Read a book. Read a mother book.
I forgot all about that till right now.
But
oh my gosh.
That brings us to the end of this list.
Yes, it does.
We know what Walter said. Bring Josh's list up again.
I will be back there. There it is.
Okay, so the only one we didn't really cover is the Divas match that became the women's title match.
Solid match. Definitely talked about.
I was going to say, is there anything you want to say about that one? It was before I returned to the fandom.
Yeah, it's one of those.
We just went a little over an hour. I feel like we can stretch this just a smidge.
Yeah. So it was cool for me as a fan, and we weren't doing the commentary thing yet. That WrestleMania was a mixed bag for me because in the moment First of all, it was a 12-hour day if you count driving to Wade's, being there for Mania, driving back, getting up hella early the next morning, taking Dylan to school, going to get our head shaved bald because of freaking Zack Ryder and Miz bastards. Stupid Miz, stupid Cardona. Actually, that would have been Tuesday morning, so I take that back. It was still an extra day, and it still sucked. But anyway, the match itself, it was definitely the right call. I still say part of that call was AJ's departure the year before and trying to get the stink of the Divas title off of the company.
That's fair.
And I don't know if AJ hadn't left, if that wouldn't have been so pushed so hard for him, right? But that era was over. The Bellas were done for the most part. AJ had left. The majority of the divas had properly evolved into being part of this women's division, or deserving to be, I should say.
Right.
And the match was so good. Charlotte and her moonsault spots are what they are, whatever. Like, even I'm over those at this point. The finish with Flair, getting involved, and then her turning on Rick the next night was kind of like, okay. It was just kind of the whole thing with Charlotte and Rick. When Charlotte first turned heel after the Divas Championship, it was very much felt forced to me. Like, either have her be bad and embrace it, or have her be good and not want to deal with her dad's bullshit. Like, it just seemed off to me, and it always seemed off every time he came back after that. As far as Noah's selections that we didn't talk about,
yes, I was going to get there.
Yeah, of course.
The Trish Victoria Jazz match was definitely a possibility.
Yes.
As was the Trish Lita Jazz match.
Yes.
Those are both ones that we did communicate about just a little bit because of the fact that it was Lita's only championship opportunity at WrestleMania.
Right.
Hall of Famer, you think about her career, it was the only time she actually challenged for a championship at WrestleMania. Now, she always seemed to have the bad luck. She always seemed to be injured around Mania time.
Fair.
So it kind of was what it was with Amy.
Sure.
But it was definitely a discussion.
No, it was.
And then, again, the Trish Victoria Jazz definitely was a discussion as well, as was Ivory versus China.
Very briefly, yes.
Go ahead and throw that one out there too as another honorable mention. It was a conversation.
It was.
But it wasn't enough of a conversation to really solidify. And
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that was the goal at WrestleMania 21 had Amy not got hurt. I think that was the ultimate end game had she not got out the injury. As far as the 19 match, unfortunately, that suffered from the commentary and the wardrobe choices of the three women that led to the naughty commentary. It was kind of like, it kind of made it lesser than for me. Ironically, he was fighting for the Ivory China match going on there, and I'm the one that fought against it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I said it plain and simple. They were trying to salvage what they had left with Yoni. I will forever love her. I will forever miss her. But once they took her out of competing against the men, she was a fish out of water. Because she could easily line up an entire division and bulldoze them all into the freaking sky bucket seats. Every single one of them. It didn't matter. So they did. All they could do was take her off TV with an injury angle for 2 months. And then she had one pay-per-view match for the championship after that. And then she was gone. Because of a number of reasons that I'm not going to dive down the rabbit hole because I ain't about to cry today for sadness. Kind of was what it was. Money was involved too.
Had it been a different era, I think everybody would love to have seen China and Beth.
Yeah, right?
I would love to have seen China and Awesome Kong.
Oh my God, right?
And even now, China versus Nia.
Yeah.
People are going to say what they're going to say about Nia. But I think they need to just get off their fucking high horse. She's so much better than she was since she's returned.
I agree with that.
I mean,
I think the problem with Joni was twofold. One, Joni's mindset was always self-depreciation. Again, may she rest in peace. Always down on herself. And the other thing was she was the superstar Billy Graham of her generation. She was just too far ahead of her time. If she'd been born 10, 15 years later, she'd be a vital part of this thing right now.
it's fair.
She'd be so great in any of these companies, AEW, TNA, WWE. She would be a solid, vital roster member. Imagine her in the Knockouts division. Jesus Christ. Not that stupid one-off she had teaming with Kurt Angle. Screw that in its ass. Absolutely not. That was stupid. I love Joni. And I love everybody involved in that match, but God, that was so forced. The fact that was her last match makes me sick. It really does. Nothing against TNA or the people involved, but just the way that was done was just stupid. But she could have been a force to be reckoned with any other time. It's just because of who she trained with, how she was trained, how she debuted. She was always going to be a force. And the women's division of 1999 through 2001 was not a force. It was a whimper of a division. It took Trish winning that championship in that six-pack challenge at the Survivor Series and getting injured on the way there, having to take time off and really hone her craft and get her shit together, people to go, you know what? Just think about it. Anybody else remember Trish's first TV defense after the Survivor Series? I do. Bra and panties match on Velocity against Stacey Keebler. That's how far they've come. Great six-pack challenge at Survivor Series. The follow-up was a bra and panties match on Velocity for the first defense. What the actual shit? So, yeah, big ol' oy vey. Shout out to Teresa. It's rough. Just rough.
Yeah.
And this is the same Trish Stratus that earlier in that year was disrobing and barking like a dog. Okay, I'm just saying. Hell of a 12 months for Miss Stratus.
That being said,
yes,
we've covered our list.
Yes,
we've covered the matches on the people who actually responded to us lists that we didn't talk about as part of our list.
Thank you for that.
We've even thrown a few honorable mentions in there that were part of the discussion.
Yes,
that just didn't make the rankings.
Yes.
Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments, whether it's the live chat, whether it's the comment box down below once this thing goes and you start watching it on demand. What women's championship matches do you feel were top 10 worthy that we didn't discuss?
Yes.
And maybe, just maybe, during our marathon calls this weekend, we'll slide a couple of them in during the women's matches.
There you go. But as arguably the greatest world champion of any era would say, we've only just begun for today.
Yes.
It's coming
top
up
of the hour.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we'll go live.
Because you know what? Noah was waiting on his dinner.
Yes.
To watch us.
Yes.
So let's give the man at least to the top of the hour to get his dinner in.
Yes.
So at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern.
Ignore that time. That's why we're keeping the banner up.
We will go live with our coverage for Supercard of Honor. Huge pre-show because, well, I don't think they're actually starting the real show until 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, but you know.
Yes, but the 0 hour is at 7, so that is why we're yeah.
So an hour of hype before the 0 hour.
Yes.
Noah says, "Okay, what the heck? I'll see you in 45."
Atta boy.
So our lead commentary man has confirmed it. Adam Pearce style, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. We've made it official.
That's it. During that
And then
call,
from
yes.
there,
Yes.
beginning at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern,
Yes.
I will be beginning our coverage of the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes. Stand in the Hall of Fame. Woo!
I actually heard that song the other day. I was doing my job. I was doing my
Yes.
Uber Eats. I
Yes.
had to go to Charlie's Philadelphia cheesesteaks to pick up an order to deliver.
Ironically enough.
I'm waiting for the order. That song comes over the radio.
Nice.
And I'm just like,
Shit.
I legit don't think I've heard this song for like 15 years.
Nice. That's
And
tremendous.
I'm in a Philly cheesesteak restaurant. Mania's in Philly. The
Yes.
Hall of Fame is around the corner. I'm just like, the synergy was there.
No kidding. Oh my, that's
So
great.
yeah,
I love
starting
it.
at 7 o'clock, I'll be beginning our coverage of this
Yes.
as basically the red carpet. You know, the
Yeah.
superstars are arriving after SmackDown. They're giving their interviews. They're
Taking the
taking
room
their
down.
chairs.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be covering all of that stuff. You know, Bull Nakano, the U.S. Express, Thunderbolt Patterson, Liam Ivia, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. And then, of course, the man who is an advocate, the man who's a special counsel, the man who is a wise man, the man who is the godfather of extreme,
Yes.
will today become Hall of Famer. And ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman.
Inducted, of course, by Roman Reigns.
And I will admit, I'm a little bit bummed that Roman's doing the induction.
Okay.
I would have loved to have seen somebody from ECW.
Okay.
That's basically what it boils down to. I don't care who.
Right.
I don't care who. Raven, Tommy, Bubba, you know, Todd Gordon, Rob, whoever. I would have loved to have seen an ECW original up there to discuss Taz, to discuss Paul Heyman. Hell, even Taz, the freaking
Why not?
himself.
That's right.
But I mean, Joey Styles.
Yep. There you
somebody.
go. ECW original inducting Paul. That means somebody that had to have been around during the original ECW run.
That's right.
WWE, fly this man out. He was in the original ECW pay-per-view. Get this man out there to induct Paul Heyman, by God. You got time. You got time. You got time.
I can get there. I can pack a bag real quick.
Ontario Airport's right there. He'll get there. It'll be a thing.
Yeah, you know.
Damn, it's not one of us should be out there doing this shit.
But I mean, just
I know. But
or if you're gonna keep it in company, why not trot Punk out there?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that, you know, Paul's original WWE client is kind of persona non grata right now.
Yeah.
But there was a pipe bomb that was dropped where Paul's name was uttered, and the person that said it was a Paul Heyman guy, and he's not really doing anything this weekend because, you know, his arm got a brace on it. So why not bring him out there to induct Paul?
I'm sure we'll talk about this during the feed. I feel like Roman will be giving a thank you to Paul for getting him here.
I'm sure.
Because it took Paul being present, being with Roman to get Roman to where he is.
I know.
So I think that's
or anybody else from the Anoa'i family.
Yeah.
Why not have Rikishi and Samu do it?
Yep.
Samoan SWAT team, the Head Shrinkers.
Yep.
I feel like Roman at this stage in his career should be like Undertaker back in the day, where he just doesn't come on stage. Taker was about keeping to the gimmick, but I feel like Roman shouldn't be up there.
Okay.
And it's not because he can't talk,
Well, no.
but I just feel like there were better choices
Hmm?
in the WWE family.
God. You're not incorrect in your thought process, and you're still not incorrect in your feelings, or your feelings and they're valid. So we will just have to play that Guns N' Roses song one more time and have patience and see how it unfolds tonight. But then again, that's
And
just
then
tonight, y'all.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
8 a.m. start time for us.
Yeah.
Good God.
And then we get
had to have a kickoff match.
Yeah, because and again, love that Joe Gacy's getting some time. I'm here for it. I'm here for Sean Spears getting some time.
Pull my Noah impression.
There you go. But I'll tell you what, we get a little bit of a break between the two shows, which is nice.
Well, you
hopefully.
do. I don't. I've got a 7-year-old's birthday party I got to go to.
Assuming
that she's feeling good enough, because apparently she woke up today feeling a little bit. Her mom
under the weather,
just because she's overly excited.
It very well could be.
She got an RSVP last night from somebody.
Yeah.
That she was really hoping that could come.
Yep.
And I think that kind of pushed her a little bit over the edge, bless her soul.
Yes.
So
she's low-key 7-year-old mad at me for not being there, but
hopefully everything works out and we can still do the party tomorrow. And then night one.
So either way, the time between the two shows will be nap time for Uncle Jeff. Right? I gotta get some damn memes because I sure as hell didn't get much last night. WrestleMania's here. It's tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. 7 matches scheduled.
If the party occurs, I will not be here until 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, because I'm going to give that little girl as much time as I can.
Absolutely.
Before I have to be back in this chair.
Yes.
Even though she loves me less than she loves you.
I can do it.
The truth, and just like the awesome truth, the truth can set you free.
Yes, and I will do my best to call in while I'm backstage producing the pre-show, because I do want to at least see her, talk to her. I talked to her on her birthday, Wednesday, and I pointed out to Teresa that I talked to her in that corridor of traffic between the 5 and the 110, and which signal was just decky because of Dodger Stadium and Kings traffic. But then Sunday, proof definitive, ladies and gentlemen, proof positive.
Hold on. You're going to Sunday, but we didn't discuss open mic night.
Oh, we don't have a definitive graphic for that yet because it's not 100%. But I will
just throw up the default. Yeah, I mean we've got the standard graphic.
Okay.
But immediately following WrestleMania coverage,
yes,
will be the Saturday night shenanigans that are open mic night. We have at least one topic to discuss because we're not trying to be up all hours of the night.
Especially with
WWE wants to kill us come Sunday morning, and we'll get to that in a moment.
I'm trying.
But
there it is.
Oh, Jesus Cristo. Be prepared.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, again, we're looking at a late start. More than likely with me.
Yeah.
So then, yeah.
And then WWE wants to kill us. Sunday morning, the Slammies, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
And I got confirmation yesterday. James will be joining me for that one.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
And I asked him because we don't know Noah's status. Noah usually does church festivities Sunday morning.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to be going to church WrestleMania Sunday morning, if he's going to take the day off. But I booked James to be there with me to do commentary just in case Noah's a no-show.
Okay.
Of course, you can be on screen as well.
Yeah.
If
Feel
you're
free.
still sleeping, then I can run things until you get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've got James to do the show with me if necessary.
Yeah, it really depends how late we go Saturday or tomorrow, and it really depends on just if I'm not there, just produce till I get there. It is what it is. But I will definitely be there Sunday night.
Yes, as we get to night 2 and we find out if the American Nightmare can achieve the American Dream. Will the story finally be finished? Or, as Roman Reigns said in his biography, I don't care about your story. You're just a chapter in my book. Is Cody Rhodes just another chapter in Roman's book? And apparently, Arlene messaged me earlier today. September 13th has been booked. I forget if it was Oregon or Washington, but it is not for the Garden. So the next Friday the 13th after that would be December.
No.
And
no.
I'm not saying it had to be a Friday the 13th. That wasn't the selling point of my argument. It was just that was going to be the day after Hogan's thing.
Yeah. Oh,
so if you booked the celebration in the Garden, the home of the inaugural WrestleMania, where the Garden is the Garden, Vinny.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then pulled that trigger, but
so knowing that, I may have to contact Noah before we go live Sunday and change my pick. Because I was hinging on the Garden story, but like if it's not happening, I'm so sick of this shit. I just want something different. It made more sense with the Garden there, but like now it's
but apparently it's been booked.
I'm on a bitch.
Yeah. Look it up real quick so I can give you full accuracy while we're still bullshitting here.
By the way, I will. While you're looking up, I'm going to shout out Paul Heyman and Gabe Sapolsky for my attire today. I'm totally trying to kiss the booty of the Extreme. So
Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
SmackDown in Seattle.
Okay. There's
Friday the 13th.
I mean, there's no basketball to book around anymore because Sonics don't exist anymore. So why not? Oh, WWE, you're causing my stomach to do more somersaults. I ain't about that shit today.
And then after all of that,
oh yes,
is the Raw After Mania.
Yes.
Immediately following Meach's musings on its new day and time.
Permanent, hopefully. God almighty, because I mean, y'all got to talk wrestling cancel. I got to do something on a Monday.
Damn right. Now that we've got a 3-day break before we do it all over again with Windy City Riot and Collision Battle of the Belt.
Yes.
And then we get a week off.
Yeah. After this morning, it has now been confirmed that the next weekend, that's just a normal run-of-the-mill open mic night, will be May 12th.
Jeebus.
Sammy's show sold out like that.
As I figured it would.
As I figured it would, too. It would have been cool to go support our boy. But if I'm being real.
Apparently, it was announced on Impulsive earlier today. The draft will be in the next month or so.
Jesus Christ.
So.
WWE.
Safet with the breaking news. It won't be before Hogan's passed, but they will be in the Garden.
When is Money in the Bank? It's July, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
There's ways we can get the story there. Let's try to wrap up so we can get off the air, so we can get a break before we go live at the top of the hour.
Yeah. It's one of those. If it was after Money in the Bank, I would be better. Far more hesitant. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for the last hour and a half of this. Still almost 80 of you in the room. You people on the Twix are crazy, and I love every one of you crazy fools.
But we'd prefer it if you subscribed to
Yeah,
our
you know.
YouTube channels, watched us there, which helps generate ad revenue for us,
Yes.
and send some super chats our way. We're working hard this weekend.
Yeah, we are. Good Lord.
Unfortunately, Twitter doesn't pay us.
Well,
we love the fact that y'all are here supporting us.
Right.
We don't want to slight that or take that lightly, but the watch-alongs aren't going to be streamed on Twitter.
Nope.
They're not going to be streamed on Facebook. So if you want to see more of these shenanigans, if you want to see us call the action for Supercard of Honor, if you want to see us call the action for Stand and Deliver, if you want to see us call the action for both nights of WrestleMania and the Raw after Mania, Jeff Meacham Network on YouTube, Casa D-18 Studios on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, super chat, super sticker. Show your love and support to us. Let us know that you appreciate what we are doing here this weekend.
Acknowledge us. Yes. Thank you all. We'll see you at the top of the next hour for our coverage of Supercard of Honor. For the Renegade, I'm the Meach. We'll see you soon.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.